Your ascendant sign or rising sign. So I have another video that you should watch. Why the hell is the rising sign so important? So I'll put the link below. I have a unique take on the rising sign. Some people might think I don't like rising signs. They are the mask you wear. They are the defense mechanism you have to the world. But they are also, interestingly enough, the point at which you enter the earth. This becomes the environment that you're born into. Is it the chicken or the egg? Were you born into this environment and then that became your personality because it was what surrounded you? Or were you that way in a past life and then you come into that particular point in time to this earth because that's what you are? Well, I think it's both. We're born into an environment where this projection of who we wish we were is seen as positive. Our environment, our parents, our family, our culture, our church group, whatever, they want us to be this. They might even think that this is who we are. If your rising sign is the opposite sign of your sun sign, I'm sorry. Because you probably feel like your parents don't really know who you are. You might be 35 years old and they still have no idea who you are. That's kind of painful. If you have the same rising sign as your sun sign, that's awesome. There's an authenticity that comes across with you. You are so used to being true to who you are. That is great. If your rising sign is square to your sun, this is also an uncomfortable position where you probably feel like it's really hard to step into your sun sign. You just don't feel exactly comfortable being your true self. When we're kids, we usually look a lot like our rising sign. As we get older, we start to look more like our sun sign or our moon sign, especially if we start becoming that. You are what you eat. What you are inside starts representing itself to your exterior self. It's important to know what your rising sign is because you might be carrying a bunch of weight from the past that we can then release in this video. Be able to embrace more of who you truly are. The rising sign, it's the movie we're watching of what we think the world is because the environment we were born into said, hey, Cancer ascendant, you are a Cancer. You should act like a Cancer. We're going to reward you for being a Cancer. And the whole world we put around you is also going to see you as a Cancer. So in a way, our rising sign is less about who we really are, and it's more about what we see and project the world as. We act a certain way because this is our strongest foot forward in the world around us. Your ascendant is how you go about getting things. When you're little especially, let's say you're a Cancer ascendant. Your dad is watching TV and you want to watch your movie. And you go in there and you give the most cute, adorable, innocent little Cancer big eyes. And of course, nobody can resist. Or you're an Aries ascendant. And so you just go in there and you just change the channel. Take that. An ascendant is also how you survive elementary school and your siblings. When we become nervous, when we become uncomfortable, when we feel like we can't be ourselves, when we feel like somebody wants a fake presentation of who we really are, in walks the rising sign. Ta-da! Very useful to have. But to be happier in life and to be more of who you really are, being authentic is what it's all about. So become more like your sun sign, become more like your north node, become more like your moon sign. And don't let anybody force you into, you need to act a certain way to please them, Libra. Now, am I recommending to just lose all the traits of your rising sign and pretend like it doesn't exist? Treat it as something negative? No, of course not. A defense mechanism in nature is very useful. There are going to be situations where your rising sign is going to be very good for you to have. Like in job interview, when someone's trying to treat you poorly, you can use your rising sign as a protection mechanism. All right, so without further ado, your ascendant. Cancer ascendants. When I think of a Cancer ascendant, I really find it interesting that your mask that you wear to the world is emotional. That is such a trust to the universe to just put those emotions out there right in front of everyone to see. However, sometimes if you're born into a negative situation, then the emotions that you put out there are not always genuine. Cancer ascendants sometimes play the victim card in order to protect themselves from others, in order to get things from other people. But if you're born into a very emotionally loving environment where you feel like you can express your emotions, your parents had so much love to give and you were the little baby, they want to be the baby of that family unit or the mother. In a positive situation, you might have felt like you were really able to express yourself, and by doing that, you were rewarded. You got what you needed. Your parents were able to be there for you when you would express. Once again, The negative side of a Cancer ascendant childhood, you could have felt like you had no ability to get into your shell. You know, a Cancer has a shell that protects them, and you ascendants are the mask you wear. And when you are putting out emotion as your defense mechanism, you have no shell, if that emotion is true. You feel like you were always exposed, like your deepest emotions were always on display, and you were always vulnerable, like a feeling like you really didn't have a defense, like you just cry in an instant and people can easily attack you, including people that are close to you, like a mother or a sister. I think for a Cancer ascendant, it usually ends up one or two ways. The Cancer ascendant wants to be the baby or they want to be the mother. So that creates two very different personalities. If they want to be the mother, then they're always trying to take care of everyone else's emotions. If they want to be the baby, then they feel like their emotions are extremely important to express and they should never be closed off. A Cancer ascendant is extremely sensitive. Because they're a water sign, there's some psychic ability. Because it's that mask, it's that first instinct, the rising sign is that first meeting with people. You might have a psychic experience when you first shake somebody's hand or when you have the first conversation with them. Maybe strangers will come up to you and just feel like they already know you. And maybe that's a reoccurring theme in your life. I think that's also why Cancer ascendants make for very good shamans or spiritualists, because they really just instantly connect to others. In a negative way, I know someone who literally, from the day she was born, she was in her mother's arms and her mother cried every single day for a year. That's just an example that a lot of Cancer ascendants are born to mothers who have postpartum depression. That's why they have that instant connection with somebody's emotions. They don't really feel like they have a defense mechanism set up. There's often a feeling of being needed. You will attract people that are manipulative, or you'll manipulate, once again, that mother-baby kind of dynamic. People that are in emotional crisis, because like attracts like. So often that Cancer ascendant is going to attract intense emotion to them. A Cancer ascendant wasn't really allowed to leave the house a lot. There wasn't a lot of traveling. They're really used to staying in the home. They can often have lives that are very drama oriented. To get respite from that, I would recommend head towards your North Node or your Sun sign or Moon sign. In the positive sense, Cancer ascendant is a born healer. And I guess in the negative sense, they can be a born drama queen. Because Cancer is all about the home environment is very important to them. A Cancer ascendant, no matter what childhood they had, they're going to have so much sentimental memories tied to objects, and they also usually are interested in researching ancestors and the family line and everything related to the family history, because Cancer is all about that family tree. They're very likely to be close to a grandma or someone that they can talk about the past and talk about the great-grandma that they never met. As far as work goes, a Cancer ascendant has a great instinct on people's taste. They're great running their own business. Something kind of related to things of the home, like fashion or baking or school supplies, something related to the home environment. But they know what people need and they know how to present it in a really nice way. Cancer ascendant, to be positive, just like every water sign, they really have to work through their issues in order to help others. Your greatest ambition will be to be the mother, even if you're male, of that household, and to really give that mothering effect to the family and the home that becomes your own. All right, hope you guys like my take on Cancer ascendant. Come back for Leo ascendant.